The roar of the frat house party drowned out my heartbeat, but not the words that followed. Jordan's laugh cut sharper than any blade as he slung his arm around my shoulder, pulling me into the circle of his buddies like I was just another prop in his perfect college charade. "Alex, gay for me. Bro, that's the funniest shit I've heard all night." Pass the beer before I puke from laughing. I stumbled back, the red Solo cup slipping from my fingers and splashing across the sticky floor, but no one noticed amid the cheers and backslaps. Jordan's eyes met mine for a split second, blue and unreadable, like storm clouds over Lake Michigan, before he turned away, already onto the next joke, the next girl grinding against him on the makeshift dance floor. That was it, the pinnacle of my 4-year crush reduced to a punchline, broadcast live to half the junior class at Northwestern, where the wind off the lake carried secrets faster than whispers. I'd planned it all week, rehearsing in the mirror of my cramped dorm room, the one with the peeling Eagles poster and the desk lamp that flickered like my nerves. Jordan Hayes, star of the lacrosse team, king of every kegger, the guy who'd flash that crooked grin and make the whole quad feel like it belonged to him. We'd been friends since freshman orientation, late-night study sessions in the library turning into greasy diner runs at 3 a.m., him venting about his overbearing dad back in Boston, me nodding along while memorizing the way his laugh lines crinkled. I thought it was mutual, that spark when our knees brushed under the table or when he'd text me memes at midnight just because. But love? That was the line I crossed, fueled by liquid courage and the ache of unspoken years. The party blurred into a haze after that. I bolted to the bathroom, retching into the sink while voices filtered through the door. "Did you see Alex's face? Epic fail." My reflection stared back, pale and shattered, the weight of every sidelong glance I'd ever ignored crashing down. Jordan didn't follow, didn't text an apology emoji, or even a "you okay?" He was Jordan Hayes, untouchable, straight as the arrow he slung on the field, or so everyone believed. Rumors swirled about his exes, the sorority sisters and high school sweethearts, but I'd seen the cracks. The way he'd linger too long in the locker room showers, the poetry books hidden under his playbook. Or maybe that was just my desperate projection, weaving fairy tales from frayed threads. By morning, the campus was alive with the fallout. My phone buzzed nonstop, sympathy from my roommate Theo, a theater kid with a flair for melodrama, and crickets from everyone else. I skipped psych class, curling under the covers as rain pelted the window, each drop a reminder of how exposed I felt. Coming out had been hard enough sophomore year. Hugs from mom over FaceTime, masking her quiet worry about finding the right girl someday. But this was public execution, my vulnerability served up for likes and retweets. Theo burst in at noon, arms laden with greasy bagels and black coffee, his eyeliner smudged from last night's after-party. "Babe, you're not hiding forever. Jordan's an ass. Hot, but an ass. Remember that time he ghosted his own sister on her birthday?" Theo was my anchor, the one who dragged me to my first Pride parade in Chicago, rainbow flags whipping in the wind off the Art Institute. Non-binary and unapologetic, they navigated the world with a script in hand and a middle finger ready. "You deserve better than that closeted jock routine." I forced a smile, but inside, the rejection festered like an open wound. Why had I said it? In the heat of the party, beer loosening my tongue, I'd leaned in close, breath hot against his ear. "Jordan, it's you. It's always been you." His freeze, then the pivot to humor. It replayed on loop, each replay carving deeper. Was it denial, disgust, or just self-preservation in a frat world that equated gay with weak? Graduation crept up like a thief, for months of avoidance turning us into ghosts on the same quad. I'd spot him across Deering Meadow, laughing with his teammates, and duck into the nearest building, heart hammering. Our mutual friends tiptoed around it, conversations veering to internships and post-grad plans. Jordan landed a marketing gig in Seattle, some tech startup chasing the next big app, while I snagged a spot in a nonprofit downtown, coordinating youth programs for LGBTQ+ runaways. Irony at its cruelest. Me, building bridges for kids who'd been shoved off cliffs like I almost was. Packing up felt like shedding skin. Theo helped, blasting Chapel Roan to drown out the silence, stuffing my life into boxes bound for the West Coast. "New city, new you," they said, hugging me fierce at O'Hare. No more pining over straight boys who play pretend. The flight was turbulent, mirroring my gut, but as the plane dipped toward Puget Sound, emerald forests unfolding below, a sliver of hope cracked through. Seattle, rain-soaked streets, coffee that could wake the dead, a queer scene thriving in Capitol Hill. Anonymity, reinvention, maybe that's what destiny offered after all. My new apartment was a steal, a two-bedroom in Belltown with harbor views and creaky hardwood floors, thanks to a Craigslist ad that screamed desperate subletter. The listing was vague, no photos, just recent grad, clean, chill vibe. I arrived jet-lagged, key in hand from the super, dropping my duffels in the empty living room that smelled of fresh paint and possibility. The place was brighter than expected, sunlight streaming through blinds, bouncing off white walls. I claimed the smaller bedroom, unpacking books and that worn flannel Jordan once borrowed and never returned. Stupid sentiment, but I couldn't toss it. Footsteps echoed in the hall that evening, keys jingling like a warning bell. The door swung open, and there he was, Jordan Hayes, duffel over one shoulder, looking every bit the golden boy in a fitted tee and jeans that hugged his lacrosse-honed legs. Our eyes locked, and the world tilted. "Alex." His voice cracked, bag thudding to the floor. "What the?" "Roommate roulette," I managed, voice steady as a lie. Inside, panic clawed, destiny's cruel joke, pairing us in this stranger's city, 3,000 miles from the wreckage we'd left behind. He recovered first, that trademark grin flickering like a faulty bulb. "Small world, huh? Guess we're stuck." But his eyes darted, avoiding mine, as he shouldered past to the kitchen, rummaging for a beer that wasn't there yet. I followed, words tumbling out in a rush. The ad, the timing, how I'd signed without seeing the other name. He nodded, cracking open a water bottle instead, the silence thickening like fog off the sound. That first night set the tone, polite deflections over takeout Thai, stories of the flights skirting the elephant in the room. Jordan talked startups and Seattle's tech boom, his enthusiasm masking the undercurrent of unease. I mentioned the nonprofit, the kids I'd meet, and he paused, fork midway to mouth. "That's cool. Helping people like us." The us hung, unspoken freight, and I wondered if he meant it or if it was just echo from our shared past. Sleep evaded me, the thin wall between bedrooms amplifying every creak, every sigh. What was he thinking? Regret? Resentment? Or the same what-if whirlpool sucking me under? Morning brought coffee, strong, black, the way he liked it, and a tentative truce. "We can make this work," he said, handing me a mug, fingers brushing mine in a spark that neither acknowledged. But as we ventured out into the drizzle-slick streets, Pike Place's fishmongers hollering and street musicians strumming, the city's pulse mocked our fragile peace. Destiny had thrown us together, but unraveling for years of hurt. That would take more than shared rent. Weeks blurred into a rhythm of avoidance and accident. Jordan's schedule was chaos. Early meetings at the startup, late nights coding in the living room, laptop glow illuminating his focused frown. I'd come home to notes on the fridge, grabbed milk, on you next. Or leftovers in fridge, don't judge my microwave skills. Small gestures, building walls of normalcy brick by awkward brick. My days at the center were a bomb. Counseling teens like 15-year-old Riley, who ran from a Texas town after his dad found his diary, or Mia, trans and fierce, sketching murals of self-love on our community walls. Their resilience fueled me, a reminder that rejection wasn't the end, just a detour. But home was the minefield. One evening, I caught Jordan staring at his phone, thumb hovering over a photo. Us, sophomore year, arms slung around each other at the lakeside bonfire, faces flushed from cheap wine. He locked the screen fast when I entered, muttering about work emails. "You kept that?" I asked, casual as I could, pouring cereal at midnight. He shrugged, cheeks tinting. "Nostalgia. Good times, right? Good times laced with subtext, the kind that twisted my gut." Was he reminiscing the friendship or probing the fracture? Our talks deepened in fits. Him admitting the pressure from his family, the Hayes legacy of Ivy alums and Wall Street dads expecting heirs, not distractions. Coming out? Not in the cards, he said one rainy afternoon, staring at the harbor where ferries cut white wakes. Not yet, anyway. I bit back the urge to push, to demand why the party mattered so much. Instead, I shared my own scars. Mom's evolving acceptance, from teary calls to pride flags on the porch. Dad's silence, heavy as Michigan snow. Vulnerability bridged us, tentative threads weaving through the tension. Theo checked in via video, cackling at the irony. Roommates with your rejecto? That's rom-com gold or horror flick fuel. I laughed it off, but nights alone, I'd trace the ceiling cracks, wondering if forgiveness was possible or if I was just setting up for round two. The first real crack came at a work happy hour. Jordan tagged along, my invite, his yes a surprise, and the bar in Capitol Hill buzzed with queer energy. Rainbow pins on lapels, couples tangled in booths, a drag queen belting Adele from the karaoke stage. He stuck close, nursing a whiskey sour, eyes wide at the unfiltered joy. This place, it's alive, he whispered, and I saw it. The hunger beneath his straight guy facade, the curiosity he'd buried under bro-code bullshit. Then his phone lit up, a call from back home, his sister Ellie, voice tinny as she gushed about her engagement. Jordan, you gotta meet him, he's perfect. Laughter, then a pause. Still single? Plenty of girls here asking about you. The shift was instant. His posture stiffened, grin plastic. When he hung up, the light in his eyes dimmed. Family stuff, he dismissed, but I saw the mask slip, the weight of expectations chaining him. That night, buzzed and bold, I cornered him in the kitchen. You don't have to pretend here, Jordan. Not with me. He whirled, glass clinking the counter hard. Pretend what? That I'm straight? That the world's okay with. This, gesture vague, encompassing the city, the us. His voice rose, edged with something raw, anger, fear. You think it's easy, Alex? Throwing away everything for a maybe. The words landed like the party slap, reopening scars. I didn't ask you to throw anything. I asked for truth. We stood inches apart, breaths sinking in the charged air, his cologne, cedar and citrus, stirring memories I'd boxed away. He stepped closer, hand lifting as if to touch, then dropping. Truth is, I panicked that night. Because yeah, maybe. But not then. Not like that. The admission hung, electric, but he retreated to his room, door clicking shut. I slid down the cabinets, head in hands. The cities hum a distant lullaby. Progress or peril. In Seattle's relentless rain, it was hard to tell where one ended and the other began. Fall deepened, leaves turning the parks to fire, and our coexistence evolved into something perilously close to companionship. Jordan opened up in fragments. Childhood tales of Boston winters, skating on the Charles, his dad's golf club grip tightening at any hint of softness. He'd say, "Men don't cry, son. They win." I'd counter with my own Midwest grit, and arbor blizzards, mom's apple pies as apology for dad's absences. Laughter crept in, shared over burnt pancakes or Mariners games on TV, his cheers pulling me into the fold. But shadows lingered. At the center, Riley confided his own crush gone wrong, a teammate's betrayal echoing mine. And I saw Jordan in the mirror, the boy who'd chosen silence over solidarity. One evening, prepping dinner, I found his laptop open to a forum, r/gay bros, threads on coming out in conservative families. Heart pounding, I closed it before he returned, but the seed planted. He was searching, wrestling demons I'd thought were mine alone. The turning point hit during Pride Month prep. The center hosted a workshop, Jordan volunteering last minute after I mentioned needing hands for banner painting. Kids swarmed him, Mia dubbing him lacrosse legend, as he wielded brushes with surprising delicacy. Watching him kneel beside Riley, explaining color theory with that easy charm, something thawed in me. He fit here, in this rainbow chaos, more than in any frat house echo. After, walking home through throngs of parade prep, drag brunches spilling onto sidewalks, flags fluttering like promises, we stopped at a gelato shop, spoons clinking in shared cups. "Thanks for today," he said, eyes on the salted caramel swirl. Felt right. The vulnerability cracked wider, and I risked it. "You could have more of that, if you wanted." He looked up, spoon pausing. "What if I do? What if it's not just wanted, it's terrifying?" The confession spilled then, halting. The party panic, not disgust but denial, the fear of losing his world. I liked you, Alex. More than friends. But admitting it? That meant everything changing. Tears glistened, unashamed, and he wiped them with a napkin, laughing bitterly. Look at me, crying over ice cream like a Hallmark reject. I reached across, hand covering his, the touch grounding us both. Change isn't the enemy. Hiding is. We sat like that, city lights twinkling outside, the first bridge mending. Yet misunderstandings brewed. Jordan's startup demanded overtime, pulling him into late nights with straight-laced colleagues, their bro talk filtering home in offhand stories. One slipped. This guy's like, gay marriage? Whatever, man, but eyes me weird after. Paranoia flickered. Was he testing waters or slipping back? I withdrew, volunteering extra at the center, Theo's texts urging, don't let him ghost your heart again. The storm broke at a rooftop party, Seattle's skyline a glittering backdrop. Jordan arrived late, tie loosened, introducing me as my roommate, Alex, killer cook. Pride swelled, then deflated when a co-worker clapped his back. Hayes, you two live together? Domestic bliss already. Laughter rippled, edged with implication, and Jordan's freeze was visceral, jaw tight, eyes scanning for exits. We left early, cab ride silent as the Space Needle pierced the night. Home, he exploded. They think we're. What a couple. Jesus, Alex, this city's supposed to be open-minded. Hurt laced his anger, projection sharp. You invited me to show off? Prove something. No. I shot back, voice breaking. I invited you because I thought we were past hiding. But you're still scanning rooms like it's Northwestern all over again. The fight escalated, words weapons, my accusation of cowardice, his of pushing too fast. You rejected me once. Don't make me beg for scraps. He stormed out into the rain, doors slamming like finality. I paced, regret churning, until a text pinged, at the pier. Need air. Minutes later, I found him on the waterfront, soaked and shivering, staring at ferries vanishing into mist. I'm sorry, he choked, turning. It's not you. It's me, scared shitless of what this means. But losing you again? That's worse. We collapsed onto a bench, arms around each other, rain mingling with tears. No kisses, no rush, just presence, the quiet revolution of acceptance. In that moment, under indifferent stars, the prejudices of past and present felt smaller, surmountable. Summer waned, but our thaw accelerated. Jordan came out to Ellie over a crackling call, her squeal echoing through the apartment. Finally, Mom's gonna need wine, but I'm proud. He glowed after, cooking paella from a Boston recipe, us toasting with cheap Prosecco. My family visit, Mom hugging him like long-lost kin, sealed tentative bonds. Conflicts lingered, subtle. A colleague's homophobic slip testing his resolve, or my insecurity flaring when he flirted harmlessly at bars. But we navigated, therapy sessions at the center teaching communication over assumption. Friendships bloomed too. Theo visiting, roping us into karaoke duets. Riley interning, dubbing us the Survivor Squad. The climax crested in autumn, a non-profit gala at the Museum of Pop Culture. Jordan, in a tailored blazer, took the mic unscripted, voice steady. I'm here because of Alex, not just as roommate, but as the guy who showed me home isn't a place, it's a person. And yeah, I'm gay. Proudly. Gasps. Then applause thundered, my chest bursting as he pulled me on stage, hand firm in mine. Back home, in the quiet afterglow, he turned to me, eyes soft. No more rejections. Just us. Our first kiss was tentative, sweet, lips brushing like whispered vows, the city outside a symphony of second chances. No fireworks, just fire kindled slow, deep. In Seattle's embrace, where rain washed old wounds and sunsets painted harbors gold, we built not just a life, but a love resilient as the evergreens. Destiny's twist? Not cruel, but the map to here, together, unapologetic, whole. The months following the gala settled into a rhythm that felt both revolutionary and routine, like learning to breathe after holding it too long. Jordan's coming out rippled outward, a stone in the sound sending waves to his startup team. Awkward coffees turning to ally trainings. And back home, where his dad sent a stiff card. Proud of your strength, son. Let's talk golf soon. No effusions, but progress, glacial as Seattle's glaciers. For me, The center thrived. Riley's art exhibit drew crowds. Mia's mural a beacon on the building's facade. Life wasn't perfect. Bills nipped, arguments flared over dishes, or whose turn it was to walk the neighbor's dog. But in the cracks, joy seeped. Lazy Sundays with coffee and crosswords, his head on my shoulder during Hitchcock marathons. Yet beneath the surface, old prejudices simmered, not from us but the world that shaped us. Jordan's first date with a colleague, platonic, he swore, sparked my doubt, an echo of college insecurities. Just drinks, he said, dressing up, and I nodded. But the door click lingered like abandonment. He returned early, eyes searching mine. Cancelled. Realized I didn't want drinks. I wanted this. We talked it out, raw and real, learning trust wasn't blind but built, brick by vulnerable brick. Friendships anchored us. Theo relocated part-time for a theater gig, crashing on our couch and staging mock interventions. If you two fight again, I'm directing your breakup scene. Spoiler, it's tragic. Laughter healed, as did nights at local spots. The Stranger's queer open mics, where Jordan read his first poem, voice trembling on lines about blue eyes in a storm. Applause roared. My pride swelled, fierce as any touchdown he'd scored. Winter arrived with its gray veil, holidays looming like uninvited guests. I flew home to Michigan solo, Mom's tree glittering with new ornaments, a tiny rainbow bulb she'd added just because. Dad thawed over pie, gruff questions about that Jordan fella masking care. Treats you right, I assured him, heart full. Jordan stayed in Boston, family dinner tense but triumphant. Ellie toasting, to haze men who chart their own course. His text that night, miss you. Home's better with you in it. New Year's brought snow, rare and magical, blanketing Belltown in hush. We rang it in on our roof, champagne flutes clinking under fireworks blooming over the needle. Resolutions? He asked, nose pink from cold. More of this, I said, pulling him close. Less fear. His kiss warmed deeper, promise in the press. That year, we grew, him advocating at work for inclusive policies, me expanding the center's reach with grants won on his marketing savvy. Surprises dotted the path. A weekend in the Olympics, hiking to waterfalls where we skinny dipped in hidden pools, laughter echoing off mossy rocks. No rush to labels. Boyfriends felt too small for what we were forging, but commitment hummed, steady as fairy horns. Spring unfurled, cherry blossoms dusting the U District like confetti. A misunderstanding brewed then, petty but pointed. Jordan's ex from college, a sorority girl named Claire, emailed about a mutual friend's wedding. Come solo, she wrote, tone light but laced with history. He showed me, casual but jealousy nipped, visions of what-ifs, of him choosing normalcy after all. Go if you want, I said, voice tight, stirring pasta too vigorously. He set the phone down, turning me to face him. I don't. That life's not mine anymore. We dissected it over dinner, unpacking how rejection's ghost still whispered doubts. You're it, Alex. End of story. Vulnerability bonded us tighter, therapy reinforcing tools for the toolkits of our hearts. Summer heat waves tested us, air thick as unspoken words. The center's pride float build became our obsession. Jordan welding frames, me painting slogans. Love wins, one story at a time. Kids beamed, their stories woven into banners, a tapestry of triumphs over trials. At the parade, rain held off, confetti cannons bursting as we marched, his hand in mine a defiant flag. Strangers cheered, signs reading queer in here. And for a heartbeat, the world felt remade. But high came the crash, his dad's visit. Mr. Hayes arrived in khakis and skepticism, Boston accent clipping judgments over brunch. Marketing, eh? Better than that non-profit fluff. Real money there. Jordan bristled, defending my work with fire I'd rarely seen. Dad, it's not fluff. It's lives. Tension crackled. I mediated with charm, but the undercurrent pulled. Old prejudices surfacing in veiled barbs. Just watch the optics, son. Post-departure, Jordan unraveled, pacing the living room. He'll never get it. Thinks I'm throwing away legacy for whimsy. I held him, rocking like we were kids again. Your legacy's yours to write. And it's brilliant. Tears fell, cathartic, washing residue of doubt. We emerged stronger, boundaries drawn with love's firm hand. Fall brought harvest festivals, pumpkins carving grins on our stoop. A conflict crested unexpectedly. A center donor, conservative-leaning, questioned my agenda during a meeting, pushing lifestyles on youth. The room iced. Jordan, shadowing for a collab, spoke up. It's support, not push. And it's saving lives. The donor backed down, but the sting lingered. Prejudices bite universal. We processed over walks in Discovery Park, salt air salving wounds. World's not kind, he said, tossing skips across the waves. But we've got each other. True north, that, our compass through storms. As leaves turned, a surprise bloomed. Ellie's wedding invite, +1 for both. We flew east, Boston aglow in autumn finery. The ceremony was fairy tale, vows exchanged under arching oaks. Jordan Bestman's speech landing laughs and lumps in throats. Love's the bravest choice. To my sister, and to finding mine. Eyes met mine across the aisle, promise electric. Reception dances blurred into memory. Him twirling me under string lights, whispers of forever amid toasts. Back in Seattle, unpacking suitcases, he knelt. Not ring, but a keychain etched with our initials, tangled like vines. Not proposal. Promise. Build this with me. Tears blurred, yes tumbling out. No grand gestures, just us, flawed, fierce, found. Winter circled again, but lighter now, holidays shared in a cabin near Leavenworth, snow globing us in quiet magic. Mulled wine by fireside, stories spinning futures, adoptions maybe, travels to Provincetown prides. Conflicts? They'd come, life's script unwritten, but we'd face them scripted together, dialogues of depth over drama. In the city's ceaseless reign, we thrived, roots deep as old-growth forests, branches reaching for sun. Destiny's pair, from rejection's ash, love's phoenix rose, enduring, electric, eternally ours. Yet even as roots strengthened, the ground shifted beneath us, subtle tremors from afar. Jordan's startup hit a milestone. App launch buzzed in TechCrunch. Investors circling like gulls over chowder at Pike Place. Success gilded him, confidence blooming, but pressure shadowed. Board meetings demanding face time, with polished execs, their heteronormative banter a minefield. Family man material. One VP joked, slapping his back. Jordan laughed it off at home, but I saw the flinch, the way his shoulders hunched like under a yoke. My world contrasted, center grant secured, expanding to a satellite in Tacoma, but bureaucracy bit. City council hearings where suits decried special interests draining funds. One night, post-meeting, I vented over lo mein, chopstick stabbing noodles. They act like we're asking for gold-plated closets. Jordan listened, then shared his day. A pitch where his orientation leaked into small talk, deal teetering on awkward pause. Felt like college auditions all over, proving I'm not that guy. Empathy bridged, but resentment simmered unspoken. His corporate climb versus my grassroots grind, worlds clashing in quiet judgments. A weekend getaway to the San Juans, ferry rocking us to Orcas Island, mended riffs. Kayaking emerald inlets, we confessed fears. Him of glass ceilings for out queers, me of burnout in a system rigged against us. We're not competing, he said, beaching on pebbled shores, hands laced in tide pools. Team, always. Return brought surprise. Theo's engagement to a sound designer, whirlwind Vegas elopement inviting us as witnesses. We jetted south, neon stripping vulnerability bare, vows exchanged in a chapel of Elvis impersonators, laughter sealing bonds. Your turn next. Theo teased over blackjack, winking. Jordan's squeeze under the table spoke volumes. Not yet, but soon. Back north, autumn's chill ushered conflict's chillier cousin. Jordan's dad returned, this time for a business summit, crashing our space with spreadsheets and scotch. Dinners devolved into monologues on legacy, sidelining my input as idealistic. One evening, post-dinner, he cornered Jordan in the study. Son, this lifestyle, it's a phase? Investors whisper. Eavesdropped. I froze in the hall, heart hammering. Jordan's retort was steel. It's me, Dad. And Alex's family. The air cleared post-departure, but fracture lingered. Jordan withdrew, burying in work. I overcompensated at the center, snapping at volunteers. Culmination came midweek. Forgotten anniversary of our first post-rejection coffee. Table set for two. Him arriving late with wilted apology roses. Dad's in my head, he admitted, slumping. Makes me question if I'm enough. For you, for this life. Words failed. I pulled him to the couch, tracing his jaw. You're everything. We define enough. Love-making followed. Tender exploration. No rush. Just rediscovery. Bodies mapping forgiveness in sighs and shudders. Morning brought clarity. Joint therapy. A queer-affirming counselor unpacking intergenerational trauma. Tools for the tensions ahead. Winter holidays split us. Me to Michigan for Mom's famous tourtière, him to Boston for Hayes traditions. Texts bridged. Snow angels without you suck. Love, Jay, FaceTime feast shared screens. Laughter over burnt cookies. New Year's, solo in Seattle. I toasted to us under the needle's glow, resolution etched. Deeper dives into each other's worlds. Spring thawed reservations too. Jordan shadowed a center workshop, facilitating discussions on identity with teens, his lacrosse tales weaving authenticity. Coach me through fear, he quipped to Riley, earning eye rolls and respect. Reciprocally, I pitched at his startup's diversity panel, stories of resilience landing nods from skeptics. Integration, not invasion. Our lives entwining like ivy on brick. Surprise struck in May. A job offer for me, head of programs at a national LGBTQ+ org in San Francisco. Excitement warred with dread, uprooting our fragile nest. Jordan's reaction was pure. We go together. My app's remote-friendly. But doubt crept. His career tethered to Seattle, my fear of dragging him. Nights hashed pros-cons. Maps spread like battle plans. SF's got rainbows for days, he joked, but eyes serious. Where you lead, I follow. Decision delayed. Summer solstice brought climax's prelude. The center's annual gala, black tie under Chihuly glass, drew donors, drag royalty, us in matching bow ties. Jordan's speech on allyship's evolution drew standing ovation. Mine, honoring youth, tiered the room. Post-toast mingling, a donor approached, silver-haired, voice velvet. Your work's inspiring. Ever thought expansion south? Seeds planted, mirroring my offer. Homeward cab, euphoria crested. San Fran, he murmured, hand on thigh. Together? Affirmation sealed with kiss, city lights streaking like shooting stars. Yet prejudice's specter loomed. En route to a pre-wedding bash for Theo's reception, a layover in Chicago turned ugly. Airport barflies slurring fairy boys over our intertwined fingers. Jordan's freeze triggered mine, flashed to frat house echoes. But he stood, voice calm thunder. We're good. Thanks. Your issue, not ours. Security escorted the man. We boarded shaken but solid, debriefing over peanuts. That was you protecting us, I said. Proud. Theo's bash in Seattle, drag brunch to die for, eased tensions, mimosas toasting futures. Bay Area babes, Theo crowed, plotting visits. Back home, packing commenced tentative, boxes labeled maybe, dreams unpacked in whispers. Fall's equinox aligned our leap. Resignations tendered, leases broken, U-Haul booked. Last Belltown night, Harbor View framed our goodbye. To new cities, old loves, Jordan toasted, bubbles fizzing. Dawn drive south, Cascades bowing farewell, Golden Gate welcoming with fog-kissed promise. SF unfolded electric. Castro's rainbow crosswalks, our Haight-Ashbury flat, with bay views. Unpacking unearthed relics. That flannel, now shared wardrobe staple, laughter layering memory. New rhythms, my org office in the Mission, his virtual meetings from sun-drenched cafes. Conflicts? Commute snarls, culture shock from Seattle's mellow to SF's hustle. But friendships flowered. Queer book clubs, hiking Marin headlands where seals barked approval. Climax crested Thanksgiving, blended families converging, mom and dad flying west, Hayes clan tentative Zoom. Table groaned with fusion, tourtière beside clam chowder, toasts bridging divides. Dad's quiet, glad you're happy. Kid, cracked Jordan's facade. Tears mingled with gravy, prejudices yielding to presence. Winter solstice, under Coit Tower's glow, he knelt proper, rings simple, silver band etched with coordinates. Our pier that rainy night. Marry me? Not destiny, choice. Yes, blurred through sobs. City symphony our witness. In San Francisco's boundless blue, we vowed eternity, not flawless, but fierce. Love, once rejected, now reclaimed. A drama resolved in harmony's hush. San Francisco's pulse quickened our days, but integration brought its own dramas, subtle scripts of adjustment where old characters resurfaced in new guises. Jordan's remote work afforded flexibility, but virtual happy hours dredged Seattle ghosts. Ex-colleagues probing, how's domestic bliss, with winks that landed like elbows. He'd laugh, camera off, but vent later over mission burritos. Feels like I'm out twice, once to them, once to myself. I nodded, fork spearing beans, recalling my own boardroom tightropes where funders' smiles masked metrics of impact that undervalued hearts. The org demanded travel, conferences in D.C., panels in L.A., leaving Jordan to solo weekends, his texts a lifeline. Flat's too quiet. Hurry back, chef. One trip extended, a blizzard stranding me in Chicago. Guilt gnawed as he FaceTimed from our bed, city foghorn moaning outside. Miss your chaos, he said, but undertone hinted isolation's bite. Return brought makeup hiked to Twin Peaks, city sprawling below like a promise kept, hands clasped against wind. We're learning the dance, I murmured. He squeezed, lead on. Friendships wove safety nets. Theo's post-elopement tour landed them in SF, crashing for a week of Alcatraz tours and dim sum crawls. You two are disgustingly cute, they declared over Xiao Longbao, scripting our origin story as cabaret fodder. Laughter lightened loads, as did new crew. Kai, a trans barista with poetry slams. Lena, Jordan's app beta tester turned trivia night rival. Group hangs, board games in the hate, ferry picnics to Sausalito, buffered biases, from street preachers' rants to Lena's conservative aunt's emails, praying for clarity. Surprise ambushed in spring. Jordan's fertility app pivoted to queer family planning, his pitch deck infused with our story's essence. Anonymous, but potent. Investor buy-in surged, but ethics nipped. Am I commodifying us? He fretted over late-night Merlot. We workshopped it, my org's ethics board consulting, landing on guidelines prioritizing privacy. Launch party at a Castro loft buzzed electric. Rainbow cupcakes, toasts to families reimagined. Pride swelled as he demoed, voice steady. For the kids who dreamed of this. My arc twisted too. Leading a youth summit, Riley is co-facilitator, his growth mirroring mine, from scared runaway to advocate. But backlash brewed. Online trolls doxing speakers. Groomer slurs flooding feeds. One night, post-threat, I paced our living room, laptop glow harsh. Jordan pulled me down, arms fortress, their noise. Your signal. Sleep came fitful, but morning's plan coalesced. Cybersecurity workshop, legal aid partners. Strength in solidarity, our mantra. Summer heat baked tensions. A misunderstanding flared over plans. Jordan's college reunion invite, Northwestern, class of 23, clashed with my org retreat in Big Sur. Go, I urged, masking envy of his glory days. He demurred, without you? Nah, compromise. He attended solo, me joining post-retreat for Chicago layover. Texts during, buddies ask about the boyfriend. Feels good, but return call held hitch. Claire, the ex, cornered him, tipsy tears. You were straight for me. What changed? His recount was measured, but my silence post-call screamed volumes. Confrontation brewed over airport pickup foe. She make you doubt? Steam rose, mirroring heat. He set bowl down, eyes level. Doubt us? Never. It's closure. For her, for the me I was. Vulnerability unpacked layers. Her plea echoing his dad's echoes. But his anchor? Me. You're mine now. Forgiveness tasted like basil, fresh and sharp. Fall's fog rolled in with family fusion. Mom visiting, her Midwestern warmth clashing delightfully with Jordan's East Coast quips over sourdough French toast. Call me Diane, she insisted, but he beamed, Mom 2.0. Dad's virtual toast from afar. Build good, boys. Progress, piecemeal. Climax loomed in November. Jordan's app faced boycott. Conservative outlets decrying LGBT propaganda in tech. Sales dipped, headlines stung. He spiraled, blaming my visibility. Board pressure mounted. Tone it down. Nights blurred into code and Cabernet, his withdrawal a wall I couldn't breach. Culmination at a tech ethics forum. I keynote on inclusive innovation, spotlighting his work unprompted. Backstage, he found me. You didn't have to. Had to, I countered. We're in this. Post-speech Q&A turned ambush. Reporter lobbing. Is this pandering or progress? Jordan, in audience, stood. Progress, because love isn't optional. Applause thundered. Boycott buckled. Users rallying with queer tech wins. Home. Release crashed. Tears, then tenderness. Bodies affirming what words affirmed. My hero, he whispered. Our story. Winter wassailed with weddings. Ellie's delayed reception in Boston. Us groomsmen in Tartan. Vows echoed ours unspoken. Dance floor. He spun me. Rings soon. Wink promised. Solstice Eve, under Lombard's lights, he proposed proper redux. Stars aligned. Ring upgraded. Sapphire inlay for Seattle skies. Forever. Yes, eternal. SF's symphony sang our saga. From rejection's rift to union's bridge. Love's drama eternally unfolding. The engagement's afterglow painted our days in pastels, but real life's palette held grays. Practical palettes of planners and proofs. Wedding whispers started casual. Courthouse quickie or Castro Cathedral? Jordan teased over morning matcha, but beneath, anxieties stirred. His parents' attendance a maybe, my folks' travel a definite. We tabled it for now, focusing on futures. Org promotion for me. Is app's expansion to Europe, passports stamped with possibility. Spring bloomed betrayals small. A center volunteer, earnest but edged, outed a teen's crush in group chat for laughs. Fallout fractured trust. Riley quit, citing echoes of home. I mediated, heart heavy, Jordan's late-night pep. You're the fixer they need. Rebuilding took weeks, apology circles, boundary workshops, but Riley returned, wary wings mending. Jordan's arc arced higher, TEDx invite, from closet to code, queerness in tech. Rehearsals filled our flat. Him pacing, slides flickering futures. Doubt dogged. What if they crucify? I scripted counters, role-played hecklers, our couch a stage. Delivery day, SF's Orpheum packed. His talk landed like lightning. Stories of us veiled as the roommate who saved me. Applause a storm. Post-talk high. Dim sum debrief. Dumplings devoured. Nailed it, I beamed. We nailed it. Summer's swelter brought surprise collision. Northwestern alumni cruise. Alaska fjords, his nudge. Closure cruise. I balked. Ghosts of rejection in glacial waters? But relented. Shipboard, old faces surfaced. Frat bros now balding brokers. Claire with a vineyard tan. Awkward waves thawed to toasts. One night, deck under northern lights, a former teammate pulled Jordan aside. Heard you're out. Brave man. Sorry for the shit back then. Confessions cascade. Group apology circle, beers in hand. We were idiots. My chest unclenched, forgiveness fured deep. Return anchored us. Fall foliage framed family forge. Hayes visit to SF. Mr. Hayes trading golf for Golden Gate hikes. Questions probing. How'd you know? Jordan's honesty. A party, a truth, a guy. Earned nod. Takes guts. Mom's potluck melded clans. Apple strudel meets clam dip. Laughter layering legacies. Misunderstanding menaced mid-autumn. My ex from Ann Arbor, long-lost link via LinkedIn, messaged congrats on engagement. Drinks? Innocent catch-up, but Jordan's scroll unearthed it, paranoia pinging. Testing waters? Steam rose over stir-fry. It's history. Defensiveness dug ditches. He stormed to office. Door click echoing old slams. Reconciliation brewed at Baker Beach. Waves lapping doubts. Fears the intruder. He admitted, sand sifting fingers. Not you. Unpacked. My transparency lapse. His insecurity scar. No more ghosts. Vow sealed with sunset kiss. Winter's wedding whirlwind world. Venue vetoes. Too touristy. Too traditional. Settling on intimate Big Sur bluff. Waves crashing corral. Invites winged. Theo as officiant. Riley ring bearer. Ellie maid of honor. Pre-wedding panic peaked. Jordan's suit sizing, my vows drafting till dawn. Elope, he joked. Too late. I laughed, pulling him to bed. Climax crested rehearsal eve. Storm surge swelling surf. Doubts darkening skies. Alone on cliff, wind whipping, I voiced vortex. What if it's too soon? Prejudices persist. Worlds not wedded to us. He gathered me. Rain mingling. Then we weather it. Together. Theo's intervention. Shotgun rehearsal. Vows voiced to seals. Lightened load. Dawn wedding dawned clear. Sun gilding granite. Guests sparse but sacred. Families fused. Friends fierce. Theo's ceremony quipped queer. Do you, Alex, promise to love this lacrosse lunatic through losses and launches? Laughter, then solemn. Our rings exchanged, sapphire glinting, vows vowing, through rejections reborn. Kiss sealed, waves whooping. Reception roared, bonfire beach bash, Mia's mural-inspired cake, dances delirious. Toasts toasted trials. Dads from Michigan cold to California gold. Mr. Hayes to choices championed. Night waned wondrous, stars scripting sequels. Honeymoon hushed in Hawaii. Maui's road to Hana. Waterfalls weeping welcome. Hikes hand in hand. Luau's laughing. Nights nestled. Husband, whispered wonder. Conflicts? Jet lag jitters, sunscreen squabbles. But love's lexicon lengthened. Intimacy's intimate. Return rekindled routines. Rings rubbing reminders. Spring's summit success. Org's national expansion. My keynote killing. Jordan's app acquired. Ethical windfall. Funding center scholarships. Synergies sang. Yet drama's denouement demanded depth. Adopting Riley's mentee. A foster kid named Jax, 16 and skeptical. Home visits hashed histories. His abandonment aches mirroring ours. Family's risk, he spat. Jordan's patience prevailed. Pickup games, coding crash courses. Placement progressed, prejudices probed. Social workers, 2 dads, arched brow. Our advocacy affirmed. 2 hearts, 1 home. Summer sealed. Jax's birthday bash, backyard barbecue blazing bonds. His tentative thanks, dads cracked us, tears toasting tomorrows. Fall's harvest held harmony. Holidays hosted, tables teeming traditions, strudel, chowder, Jax's vegan twist. Winter's wedding anniversary waltzed, bluff revisit, vows renewed under same sun. In SF's symphony, our saga symphonized, from crush's crash to commitment's crescendo, love's libretto lived, lyrical, lasting. Years layered like fog over the bay, each season scripting sequels to our origin tale, rejections receding to prologue, but echoes educating eternally. Jax's integration proved the truest trial. Teen Tempest's testing tolerances, his lashing out at curfews landing like lacrosse checks. You don't get it. Straight stare, he'd snap, slamming doors. Jordan's calm countered. We do. And we're here. Family therapy threaded us tighter, his walls weathering to welcomes. First pride with us, rainbow face paint fierce. My org's growth gobbled time. National tours, testimony in D.C. where senators sidestepped lifestyle lingo. Exhaustion etched, Jordan noticed, plotting plot, surprise sabbatical in Portugal, Azores Azure anonymity. Flights freed, we wandered cobblestones, cod cakes and custard tarts fueling forays. No kids, just us. Hikes to volcanic craters, nights in whitewashed posadas, whispers weaving remember whens. Surprise surfaced, street fiddlers striking our wedding song, impromptu dance drawing claps. Destiny's encore, he grinned. Return recharged, but ripple rocked. Jordan's acquisition aftermath. Non-compete clause curbing startups. Restlessness roiling. Am I sidelined? He'd muse over morning runs along Embarcadero. I mirrored. Org burnout beckoning board presidency. But am I abandoning the front lines? Dialogues deepened. Decisions dawning. His pivot to mentoring queer coders. My delegation to deputies. Reinvention, not retirement. Lives realigned. Fall's foster fray frayed further. Jax's biomom resurfaced. Custody claim clawing. Court dates dragged. Lawyers' lingo lacerating. Unfit environment. Insinuations. Prejudices paraded. Judges arch alternative family. Jordan's testimony thundered. We're fit. Fighting for him. My affidavits affirmed arcs. from runaways to roots. Verdict vindicated. Permanency hours, adoption papers inked in ink and tears. Jax's hug home. Family for real. Winter warmed with wonder. His bar mitzvah. Late bloom. Jewish roots reclaimed. Us davening in Castro Shul. Kugel post-service. Theo's play premiered. Us front row. His character, a rejected roommate, redeemed. Meta magic. Spring's summit surprise. Keynote duo invite. Our story spotlighted. From roommates to revolutionaries. Stage shared. Slides syncing struggles to successes. Q&A quelling queries on making it work. Applause affirmed. Book deal dangled post-talk. Memoir mused. Summer's sabbatical sequel. Road trip Route 1. Big Sur to Baja. Convertible cruising cliffs. Jax opted out for camp, granting grown-up getaway. Stops sparked stories. Monterey's aquarium awe. Wine tastings in Paso Robles, where we whispered updates. Misunderstanding minor. GPS glitch stranding us in fog. Frayed fuses flaring. Your app sucks. Laughter lapped later. Lighthouse lit. Fall fostered family fusion. Grandparents gathering. Mom and dad hosting in Michigan. Haze via video. Jax bridging with vegan venison jokes. Gratitude gushed. Gaps gapped. Climax crested Christmas. Jax is coming out. Bye. Crush on camp counselor. Candlelit confession cracking nerves. Cool, he queried. Quiver quelled by our chorus. Proud. Gift exchange gleamed. Scrapbook of our saga. Pages from Northwestern notes to SF rings. Jordan's addendum. Chapter next, yours. Winter waned wistful. Theo's twins announced. Godparent asks honored. Spring's book birthed. Destined rooms. Ghost-written grit. Bestseller buzz birthing speaking tour. Yet undercurrent churned. Health hitch. Jordan's checkup flagging fatigue. Tests tiptoeing tumors. Waiting weeks wailed silent screams. Results relieved. Benign. Burnout's badge. But brush awakened. Live loud. Vow voiced. Travels tabled for Tahoe cabin cures. Snowshoeing serenity. Saunas sweating stresses. Summer sealed shifts. Jax's junior prom. Us tux chauffeurs. His data delight. Post-party porch. Thanks for normalish. Heart hummed. Fall's foliage framed future. College apps for him. Grad school teases for us. Policy programs pondering. Holidays hosted hordes. Extended kin converging. Chaos cherished. Winter's wedding vow renewal. 10th anniversary. Bluff blessed. Theo toasting. To twists transcended. Rings resized. Jack's best man beaming. In eternity's embrace, our epic endures. Drama distilled to devotion. Love's legacy luminous.